So here is my audience. Alright, so my name's Terry Stockton, and my topic is why people should not bash or push their religion onto others. So there are hundreds of different religions throughout the world, and I plan to convince the audience that they shouldn't push their religion onto others, and they should just keep it to themselves to avoid conflicts. Now, to start off my own beliefs, I'm personally an atheist. This means that I don't believe in God, but I used to be a very active Christian. My grandfather was a pastor at one point in time, and I used to attend church with my parents and my grandparents 2 to 3 times a week. But when I turned about 16 years old is when I started to form my own beliefs. Now, I'm sure that everybody knows someone who's very devout towards their religion, and they've all been criticized. But what is religion? Religion is the belief and worship of a superhuman, a power controlling everything, like a god. It is a particular system of faith and worship, and it is the pursuit or interest in which someone ascribes as very important. I personally believe that religion is just something that someone uses to build a base on how to be a good person, how to build good virtues. Now, every individual is entitled to their own beliefs, and no one has the right to tell you what beliefs are right, what beliefs are wrong, what's going to happen to you when you don't believe the same way that they do. So there are hundreds of different religions, but who's to say which religion is correct and which one you should and shouldn't follow? A big reason why people shouldn't share their religion with others or push it on to people is because it's such a sensitive topic. A single disagreement can spark a heated argument or a very intense argument, and this can tear friendships apart. I personally have a friend. His name's Anthony. He's a very devout Roman Catholic, and we've gotten into some pretty heated debates. And there's been days and weeks where we didn't even talk to each other because of this argument. And like I said, this is a major reason why people shouldn't share their religion or push it on to other people. Now, a big question I found myself asking myself was, why do people even bash? And I personally think it's because people are stubborn and very judgmental by nature. Nobody wants to admit that they're wrong, and nobody wants to admit that believing in a different way is correct. Now, like I said, people are very stubborn, especially when it comes to religion. And religion is something that you dedicate your whole life to, because you ultimately want to have the best afterlife that you can. And when somebody tells you that you're wrong or that you're wasting your time, people take it very personal. It's very common for people to judge someone because their beliefs are very different. But you can look at say the Jewish faith and the Islam faith over in Israel. They're fighting for their homeland, and if they just had some kind of religious tolerance, then they could just live in harmony, and none of this would be happening right now. There's several reasons why this issue should stop, and these include religion can stunt scientific growth. There's enough evidence to honestly disprove many topics in religion and prove very many consistencies. Religious tolerance needs to be more widely adapted in today's society. There are more minorities who worship different religions, and honestly, Christianity being the major religion in the United States, we need to learn to accept other people's religions. And honestly, it just creates problems. Like I said, there are people over in Israel fighting over religion, and they're just losing their lives. And it's pointless. There's people who disagree with Christians, Muslims who disagree with Christians, and these bombings are happening. It's just ridiculous, and it just needs to stop. Now, a major childhood figure that everybody knows is Bill Nye. And according to Bill Nye, the science guy, children are the future, and they must be able to grasp the concept of science, because if they're convinced that science is wrong, like how Christianity completely disagrees with evolution, then they'll never be able to completely grasp the concept of these sciences. We'll never be able to advance on it. These children are the future. of our society. And they're going to be the ones making the decisions when we're old. They're going to be the ones furthering our technology, and we need them to be able to do that to their fullest capabilities. Some evidence to prove inconsistencies in religion include vestigial structures. It's a topic that is brought up in high school biology, but it's a very good topic. According to Janet Fang of It's Science, vestigial structures occur in dolphins and whales. Both are mammals, but they live in the sea. Both of these animals have hind hip bones, and if they're living in the sea, then they don't need back legs. They're just swimming. So that's an example of how they've evolved over time. And another example is the Bible says that the creation of the earth and man and everything dates back to approximately 4000 BC. And that would mean it being 2017 now, that the earth's only 6,000 years old. But with carbon dating, which is very accurate, we've proven that the earth is approximately 4.5 billion years old, and we even have dinosaur fossils and so on and so forth to prove this. In religious tolerance, like I mentioned earlier, it's a major point that we need to get across. Like I said, there's many minorities that are starting to come to the United States, and we need to start being acceptant of their religion. Just because they have a different belief doesn't mean that they're wrong or they're bad people. Religious intolerance just leads to conflict. A big one is the Jews and the Muslims or Israelis are fighting in Israel for their homeland. Here's a pie chart, and it just goes to show the entire thing being the population of the world. In the blue is Christian, pink is Islam, the blue being non-religious, green Hindu, red and the darker red being primal indigenous, which is over in Africa, Chinese traditional, the dark blue being Buddhism, and these two little slim things are Sikhism and Judaism. And that just shows how many different religions there are, and there's also little branches inside of each. And this just shows that if you have 4 people together, about 1 to 2 of those people are most likely going to be Christian if they just randomly were choosing all over the world. So if you're in a group like that, you don't want to offend anyone, create conflict, you want to come together. So in conclusion, the reason why people need to stop bashing others for their religion, they need to just accept it and keep it to themselves, unless the topic is arose, you do want to completely discuss it. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. I hope that the audience is able to take out that this is such a popular issue and why it needs to come to an end, because it is such a conflicting issue. I don't know how else to say it. There's so many problems that are coming across the world right now just because people don't agree with each other. And I also hope that you understand that there is evidence to disprove certain things. I'm not trying to tell anybody not to follow their faith, because like I said, you're entitled to that. If that's what you want to believe, that's what you believe. But you just shouldn't push it onto others because they have reasons and why they believe that way. And that is why people should not press their religion or force others to believe the way that they do.